You're 50 crunches in, your neck aches, and you're staring at the ceiling wondering why your midsection looks exactly the same. Viral fitness routines promising a shredded core in 8 minutes are making a biological promise your body cannot keep. They rely on a misunderstanding of how human beings actually burn fuel. This concept is known as spot reduction, the belief that if you flex a specific muscle, your body will selectively burn the fat sitting directly on top of it. In one clinical study, researchers had subjects perform 4 hours of intense ab training a week for 6 weeks. Despite the effort, they lost 0 belly fat. When you exercise, your body burns fat systemically. It pulls energy from lipid stores all over your body, your arms, your back, your legs, based on your unique genetic code, regardless of whether you're doing sit-ups or jumping jacks. Because of this systemic process, doing hundreds of daily crunches doesn't actually whittle away your waistline. You are building a stronger, tighter abdominal muscle that remains completely hidden beneath a blanket of tissue. If we look at human anatomy from a wider perspective, the reality is that you already have a six-pack. Every single person does. That recognizable washboard shape is the rectus abdominis. It's a long, flat band of fibers divided by connective tissue into distinct segments, resembling an ice cube tray, designed to help flex and stabilize your spine. Covering that ice cube tray is a layer of subcutaneous fat. From an evolutionary standpoint, this fat is a winter coat, meant to keep you warm and store energy for emergencies. It effectively obscures the geometric shape of the muscle underneath. There is only one biological mechanism proven to shrink that winter coat: maintaining a systemic calorie deficit. You have to consume fewer calories than you burn, forcing your body to tap into those store fat reserves for daily energy. While you maintain that deficit, eating a high-protein diet, heavy in foods like chicken, fish, and legumes, is crucial. Protein protects your existing lean muscle tissue, ensuring that your body burns its fat reserves instead of your muscles. When it comes to the exercise side of that deficit, large compound movements like squats and deadlifts are far more effective than crunches. They recruit massive muscle groups and require a much higher energy expenditure to move heavy loads, which accelerates your overall systemic fat burn. Revealing a six-pack is an act of biological excavation. You have to rely on dietary discipline to melt away the fat layer, rather than trying to create localized fatigue in your core. Ab training still serves a distinct purpose, though it is rarely the one advertised on social media. The rectus abdominis is a skeletal muscle. It responds to physical resistance and micro tears exactly the same way a bicep or a chest muscle does. When you perform targeted weighted ab exercises, you trigger a process called hypertrophy. This is how muscle fibers rebuild and grow, actively thickening the individual blocks of that abdominal ice cube tray. A 15-minute routine of unweighted, high-rep crunches offers very little resistance. To actually tear and rebuild the muscle fiber, you need heavy progressive overload, like weighted cable crunches or hanging leg raises, staying within an 8 to 15 rep range. As those individual ab muscles hypertrophy and grow thicker, they push harder against your skin. That outward pressure makes the blocks visible even if your overall body fat percentage is slightly higher. The core has a dual nature. A systemic calorie deficit removes the blanket covering it, but targeted resistance training determines the actual size and depth of the blocks lying underneath. Reaching a state of visible abdominal definition requires hitting specific, measurable biological markers. For men, abdominal visibility requires a precise body fat range between 10 and 14%. For women, who naturally require more fat for healthy hormone function, this target zone shifts higher, resting between 15 and 19%. Reaching these percentages is a mathematical process of sustaining caloric deficits over a period of months. A person starting with an average body fat percentage might need well over a year of consistent deficits to reach that target zone. Even then, genetics play a major role. Your DNA dictates exactly where you store fat and where you lose it last. For a large portion of the population, the lower abdomen is the final place the body decides to pull energy from. A six-pack is not the product of a secret viral workout routine. It is the physical proof of long-term biological and dietary discipline.